One, two, three. That was not synchronized. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever episode of KPoppin Your Cherry. This is one of your hosts, Benj. Let's start the show. That was fucking bad. Help me out.
You can do it.
Tina, man, it was good.
Fighting.
I'm gonna keep that in.
guys.
It's funny.
Like
Yeah.
use your name. The
Alright.
what do you
Oh,
call
yeah,
that?
I had.
Alright.
Well, I was gonna
forgot
do that
it.
later, like when we introduce ourselves later.
Actually,
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So hi, my name is Benj. I don't look like a K-pop fan, and I wasn't for like 21 years or so. I have only accepted it into my life around 2 months ago, and I'm not looking back.
Okay.
All right. If nobody's gonna talk, I'm just gonna go throw it out. Yvonne, I want you to introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi guys. I am Queen Vanessa for this podcast. That's my name. And well, I've been a closet K-popper since I'm not entirely sure when, but it was like 2008 or 2009 because my sister was addicted to K-pop and she kept playing K-pop. So, kind of absorbed it all in and started dancing to Tell Me. Okay.
Tell me.
Me.
Tell me.
Later
Okay.
actually we're gonna be able to see
Tell me.
like what got us into it. So I want to know what Tell Me is. I think I've heard of it. But yeah, thanks Mon for the
You
intro.
have.
Oh my
I'm
God.
probably sure I have. And now that's the best segue to go to Joe.
Okay. So hi, I guess you could call me Captain Jonana, because you'll know later. I've been a K-pop fan since around 2010. I'm not sure. All I remember is post the TVXQ breakup. So there you go. Which gives you a clue of what my favorite group is, I think.
I think it's like the nice thing about what we're doing is the varied age ranges of. I mean, we're all the same age, but the age ranges of how far we go back, I think is pretty interesting. And since I was the Maknaaes of this group, I'm gonna introduce you to the other one. So, hello, Meg. Nice to meet you.
hello. Okay. Hi, I'm Meg for the podcast. I'm Tata Meg, and if you know, you know. So, I feel like people will know.
I don't.
Well, you'll find out. Okay. So like Ben, my journey is pretty similar. I resisted K-pop for a very long time. It was always I have a lot of friends who have been into K-pop for a long time, and some of the songs, the names of the group, I've been aware of them for like some years probably. But there was strong resistance. There was strong resistance on my part, largely because I'm very susceptible to these things. I mean, Jonas Brothers. I was into One Direction, all that stuff, and I know like how obsessive I can get. So I was like, okay, control. So I controlled myself until about three. It's been 3 months. Until 3 months ago, when I decided to give in, and you'll find out later who I gave in to, unless
think,
you
like-
already know.
Like look behind you. Everyone
Look
knows.
behind you, everybody.
Unless
Well-
you already know.
Okay.
All right, everybody introduced their names. I feel like I haven't. I was kind of ashamed of thinking of this, but okay. For the purposes of the podcast, you can call me either Bad Bench or Really Bad Bench, and I think you find out why. Because there's 3 girls here. I'm the only boy, so you go who that boy. Yeah, I thought of that on this. I'm sorry if you guys want to turn
I
off the
love it.
podcast right now. Feel free to do so, but I feel like with that you understand who I'm biasing like just immediately. So yeah. But yeah, everyone here is of a different journey. I know that I started in a weird time because it's quarantine. And I feel like there's a lot of us people that started during quarantine. I'm not sure if it's just like the sheer boredom of nothing to do for a year and a half, or like you're on Spotify and like you've probably listened to everything 2 or 3 times already. So you're like, oh, what does this sound like? And I think that's how our journey started. But I'm actually curious, how does the OG journey start? So Bon, Joe, how would you guys describe your journey into how you guys got into this?
Yeah, and I'm pretty curious because that was the time when Spotify wasn't a thing, and
YouTube was
Twitter
barely a
wasn't
thing.
YouTube
barely.
was a thing, but not the way it is now. So I'm curious
Exactly.
what was it, LimeWire? Just kidding.
Like, what?
No,
We don't support
I'm so
piracy.
sorry. Go, John.
Oh,
Sorry.
we do not support piracy. What even is LimeWire? I just heard it. I just hear it online.
I only bought my albums from iTunes. I've never used the internet. There you go.
Never. So tell us.
Bon,
No,
you first.
Go.
You first.
Me.
Me first.
You.
You first. God,
Go,
dude,
John.
like you're an older fan, so you go first.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I'm older in the sense that, well, my sister was a big J-pop fan for the long when she discovered the internet. She discovered the internet around 2000. Wait, we graduated 807, mga 07, like
We're
that.
old.
And like, so she would hoard the computer, so I had no idea what the internet was. I didn't even have an email, didn't know how to use a computer. So yeah, she was a J-pop fan. And then she transitioned to being a K-pop fan. And then she would listen to songs by this boy band named Cyan Blue. And then I would listen to it and it's like, oh, it's kind of like my vibe. So it's like basically my sister's store and me outside listening in. That's how I didn't need YouTube. I didn't need Spotify. I just needed my sister.
That is like one of the first instances of offline gatekeeping I've ever heard. It's because it's literally at the gate.
So I have no idea where she gets her songs, if it's not heresy or what. But that's how I
Oh.
introduced to K-pop, and then I just got used to listening to it while people around me were listening to Western things. I was listening to K-pop things at home, so I just kind of grew into it, and then I kind of realized that K-pop wasn't really accepted during that time, like way back in 09, 08. Like that's when Tell Me started. I think that's the most popular song then, K-pop song then, and I feel like that's what opened doors to more people being open to K-pop uh, outside of Korea. So, well, yeah, I was a fan for a long time. Like I would listen to songs, I would listen to CN Blue, I would listen to FT Island, but I wasn't really that big of a fan in the sense that I would buy albums and stuff. Probably because I was a student and I was spending most of my money on food and some secondhand books. So I didn't have the money to do the merch thing. Now that I'm older, I still don't have the money because I'm still a
What's
student.
behind your back? What's behind your back?
These are Chinese stars. Well,
They're technically not K-pop, so
But
yeah.
yeah, but like I don't have money doesn't seem to be an excuse anymore.
So, I mean, my allowance grew through the years, and I was able to buy stuff. So I
Yeah.
actually not really, because I just bought my first merches this year. So
Any clue as to what merch you got this year? You wanna say it? You wanna say it?
albums. No, 3. 2 of Lalisa and 1 of Mama Moves. Yeah. Finally
Nice.
going to get merch. Okay, I'm that happy.
okay.
Go, Janana.
Okay, so it's my turn, I guess. My story is, it's kind of weird how it goes, cause like, as far as I can remember, I've been watching anime. Like, we had a boarding house growing up, so I was surrounded by college kids, like older people, and then they really like watching anime. So, what we do was, for example, we watch Dragon Ball Z together, like everyone. And then I grew liking anime songs. So when the internet age started, like when we had a family computer, I don't even remember when this was. Um and then when YouTube became a thing, sometimes my siblings and I would fight over the internet, like who would get to use the computer. But then we'd agree on like,
Hmm.
okay, so we'll go to YouTube, and then we'll watch something. But the thing is, my brother and I, we wanted, anime stuff, but my sister wanted songs. So we discovered AMVs. I don't know if you guys know that. Like animated music videos.
Is it like
Like
the
there's
is it like
Yeah, okay.
so the non-K-pop
Okay.
version of that is like when you see a video of Dragon Ball Z, then you hear crawling in.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
It started with that.
Yes.
See that's where it started for me. Like, so listening to Western music with animation, and then we discovered the ending theme and the opening themes of the songs. Like, it's hard to find them, but then you just search YouTube and then you find them. So at some point, I got curious why some of these songs had two versions. Like, one I was familiar with, and then the other one I wasn't. I started seeing, like, for example, the Inuyasha theme song, Every Heart. There were like two versions of it, so I was like, what's this other one? And then I saw like another one from Bleach that had two versions, so I was like, what's going on? And then I saw this boy group that had they sang the ending theme for One Piece. But then I got curious, like, what is this group? Are they like Chinese, Japanese, or Korean? Like, they had different songs. Like, some were in English, some were in Japanese, some were in Korean. So I got curious by that. I searched this group more, and then I discovered K-pop. Apparently, they were a K-pop group. They're TVXQ slash DBSK slash Tohoshinki. Like, it was weird, man. I guess that's it.
Okay. Now we want to hear from our Maknaaes. Who wants to start?
First.
I feel like I
Me?
should Meg should go first.
Meg.
I want you to start because
Okay.
I've been talking for a lot now.
We were
Okay.
earlier by a month.
Right, by a month. Okay, well, I often joke that my process of getting into K-pop is like that John Green quote from The Fault in Our Stars. You know how he says, "I fall in love the way you fall asleep, slowly and then all at once." So that's exactly what the process was like for me, because I've always loved pop, like um my favorite genre probably of music. So I've always loved pop, and I've been aware of K-pop for a while. Um, Maybe not that long, because you guys have been in it for a long time. But let's say mga college, I was aware of it, right? But then I was just on the outskirts, because at that time, and I remember you guys would be recommending songs for me to listen to, and I would try it out. But at that time, I don't know. I guess it just didn't pull me in. It did pull you in like no other nga naman. So, big thing was also in 2019. Before the world ended, one of my students, because I'm a preschool teacher, one of my students was, hopefully she still is, a big fan of BTS. So every day she'd ask me to play their song. And at that time, I was very resistant. I was like, oh, okay, sige na nga, para sa'yo. And then it was Boy with Love, which is really catchy and I really like it. But I don't know, that wasn't enough to reel me in yet. And then, well, the world ended. The Panini started, and Dynamite came out, and it's super catchy. But I remember, okay, ito, last year, that was like one of my most listened to songs on Spotify, and I was like, this cannot be. Like, how am I gonna share my Spotify rap knowing that this is my number one song? So, tama-tama, naglabas si Taylor ng Folklore Evermore. So, like, even without trying, those two shot up to like the top of my list. But then Dynamite was always just there. And then this year, as the pandemic still dragged on, and then my mental health was like barely hanging on. And then Butter came out, and I just couldn't stop listening to it. I was like, at first I was still resistant. I was still like, oh, why do people love this so much? And yet I I kept every day I was listening to it every day. Because every time they would release a new, like, a hotter remix, a cooler remix, I would watch it and I'd be like, oh my goodness, okay, why can't I stop watching these seven guys? And then, well, the downfall started because one of my friends was like, do you know their names? I was like, no. And then she told me their name. So, nakatatak na yun. And then another friend was like, okay, if you don't want to fall down the rabbit hole, don't watch Carpool Karaoke. And of course I did. Like as soon as she said that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. And wala na. That was it for me. So I started there, and then I watched their Tiny Desk concert in the more. I learned about them. At first it was just the catchy songs, and then it was the crackhead videos because they're so weird. And then the more I learned their advocacies, their message and everything, the more I fell in love. And a lot of people have been telling me, oh, they're just like a good intro group. They're just most people's introduction to K-pop, and then you branch out, and then you find a different group that you will really stand. And I've seen that happen because I've had friends who sabay kami, we got into them, but now they stand different groups. So I've seen that happen to others. And to be fair, I have branched out. Like I listen to the stuff you guys send. But well, I'm in this for life. I can feel it. Like this, they 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 was the one. It's really them. So that's how I got into K-pop. Now let's hear from Ben.
I'm like the case of when your music taste gradually evolve with you as a person. Because if everybody knew me, and like a lot of these people, like two of you guys knew me back in elementary, literally the only thing I would listen to is Linkin Park 24/7. I knew all the
Yes.
lyrics. I played it on our speakers, and I was yelling along with it. And like my best friend at the time, Darren, was the rapper, and I was the singer. Oh yeah, we're so cool. We were not. We were nerds. But
You know what? Sorry. I didn't even know you in grade school, and we only got close in college. But even I knew that Linkin Park was your thing. I don't know how, but I knew.
Yeah, that was his
because it
thing.
was so
Core
obsessive, as in it's like every day we would just talk about it, and it's like there wasn't even new music coming out at that time. We just really liked the band. And then like college, high school, the emo phase kicks in, so you listen to like Fall Out Boy or like Paramore and stuff. And then for some reason, like, and then I went through this entire Born in the Wrong Generation phase. So like I was listening to 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s music, and it's like
Through that phase
it's
too.
it's all hard rock, and it's like, so I'm like the last person you'd imagine to get into this. But like I think around college I started getting into pop music, and it's when I admitted to myself around 2018 that your favorite genre of music is not rock anymore. It's actually pop. Your favorite artist at this point in time would no longer be Guns N' Roses or Fall Out Boy or any like rock band. It would be Carly Rae Jepsen or Taylor
Yes!
Swift
Yes!
or Lord or Lana Del Rey. So yeah, like gradually, when the music taste started shifting, I think it's like, maybe you can try other genres of popular pop, and it's like, no, no, we're not gonna go there yet. We're not gonna listen, even if you liked some songs, even if you were into. I think the first one I really got into was "Boom Boom" by Momoland. That was that was like, I didn't actively listen to it, but like in the Philippines, there's this trend before pandemic, like the pre-pandemic times, where we all go out and eat Korean barbecue, samgyeopsal, and then like
Yeah.
a lot of the places would play music, K-pop music videos, and like I would stop eating when Momoland was playing, and they were huge at that time, right? So like literally, I would like, okay, I'm gonna stop eating because I'm gonna watch this MV. I don't know anyone, but the song's really good. But I think like the real turning point was in 2020. I got into K dramas. Uh, that's one thing I didn't really think I'd get into, and I started putting the OSTs of what I listened to in my Spotify playlist. So I actually knew K-pop without knowing K-pop, because a lot of the OSTs are really made by your big stars. I think some of my favorites were made by Hwasa of Mamamoo. She made the soundtrack for The King Eternal Monarch. It was super good. And the first song that I really, really liked was from a K drama I hated at the end, which was Startup. Not for the reasons you think. I'm not a Han Jip stan. No, he deserved to lose out in the end. But no, the drama ended badly. But it had a great song. It was Future by, and like this little girl group. I forgot their names. It starts with like Red something. But yeah, Future by Red Velvet was my actual introduction to, okay, maybe they can actually be good. This is a pretty good song. I didn't really start there though. Like I just appreciated it, put it on my playlists. It was 2021. I was having a hard time at work because pandemic, work from home, stressful, not conducive, and I was on Spotify. My cousin at that time, he likes Twice. So I was like, okay, this is Twice. It was on Spotify. The first song that came out was Fancy, and when I first heard Fancy, I was like, well, This is a problem. I think it's time to admit to yourself that this is really good.
You know that
So,
meme from, is it from The Simpsons? The chuckles, haha, I'm in danger.
yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's
It's
it.
like Ralph Wiggum, haha, I'm in
Yeah.
danger. So yeah, the first one was fancy. And the weird thing is like you would assume that because fancy was my gateway to K-pop that I'd be a once, and it's okay, like I like twice, but they're not my ult. And later on we talk about what we like more, you'll find out that it's actually Red Velvet. This is why, it's really bad bench. Oh my god. But yeah, this is where the journey starts, and I'm actually super excited now to hear from everybody on, just what you like about it. But we're gonna take a short break to introduce the word of the day. So Bon and Meg, take it away.
Go, Maggie.
Okay, word of the day. It's funny that I'm the one doing this segment because I feel like I'm the one who knows the least. But the word of the day, correct me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, because I probably will, is agio. Is that right? Right?
Yes.
And okay, based before I looked it up, just based on how people were using it, I was like, is this cute, pabebe? Which is probably pretty close. But if you look it up, a better definition is that it's a cute display of affection, often expressed through a cute voice, facial expression, or gesture. So while yes, it's pabebe or cute, I like that they highlight that it's a show of affection, so it's something like you share, I suppose, with someone else.
So, sample naman dyan.
Ay, sorry, nag-choppy yung net. It's gonna come out later when I'm not on the spot, probably. As a pabebe.
Yeah, and that's a sample right there. Pabebe.
Ay, okay.
Yeah. Actually, I know it's the perfect word for today because I think it's the perfect segue to one of the things that people don't really understand about the genre is people just think it's one dimensional. And if you actually like were in like the mindset of me before, it's like, oh, K-pop is just all cutesy girls, or they just do dances and stuff like that. But no, like the more you get into it, it really is like this huge genre that has a lot of these things, and aegyo is a thing. And if I were to show my biases, that is actually what I listen to. But no, you guys would listen to a completely different thing. So as an uneducated listener, what do you guys think is like the nice thing about the versatility of the genre that a lot of people don't get to appreciate?
I think you put it really well. Even for me, someone who's new to this, I did have those uh preconceived notions before I got into it. I was like, okay, it's one thing, right? It's one thing, it's one sound, that's all it is. But then and I haven't even explored all that much, but the little that I have explored, it's been so amazing to see how diverse and versatile K-pop is. I mean, it's K-pop, right? But when you look into it, um, there's different genres even within it, right? I don't know if are they called genres, but so there's hip hop, it's there's something for everyone. That's what I love, I think, the most about K-pop is there's something for everyone. And as someone who listen, I love to curate playlists. You know this about me. Like I'm always pushing that playlist agenda. I love how you can make entire playlists based on mood or like vibe, and then you won't run out of songs. Like it can be all K-pop,
I'm
but
gonna put you on the spot
different.
here with the
Oh
playlist thing.
no.
Like, since we
Mhm.
do have a Spotify account with ourselves, I actually want you to create a weekly playlist of K-pop.
Okay,
Yeah.
will do. All right, this is
There.
gonna be good. This is gonna make me branch out even more.
No, it's
But
yeah.
anyway, yes. So the diversity, the versatility, it was so nice to learn and realize how much there is. Which that's where the feeling of I wish I had gotten into this sooner. That's where it stems from. Because I feel like once you get into K-pop, you can still enjoy Western music, which I do, but it's not my enjoyment is not the same. I find myself comparing and sometimes it's like, oh, well, ito na ba yun? Especially with like concepts and music videos. Sometimes when I when I watch Western things now, I'm like, okay, ito na yun, this is it. Like that's the best you can do. And I'm not shading anyone specifically, but K-pop
VMAs.
really raised the bar for me. But yes, K-pop really raised the bar for me. How about you guys? Bon
Mm,
and Zo.
for me, since I started really young and I was just listening in on what my sister was listening to. So my introduction wasn't really the word K-pop. Yeah, it was Tell Me because they performed it during my sister's like birthday. She made her friends dance to that song. It was a really big thing. So it was just a Korean song for me. Like it wasn't anything more than what my sister usually listens to, like J-pop or Korean. Since I grew up with this kind of thing, it's like it's normal for me. I didn't have those uh what do you notions about it. Like I didn't have like a resistance to it because it just naturally came for me to like it because I kept listening to it every day. And the thing was when I started realizing that K-pop, that it was K-pop, and it wasn't really that accepted. Like when you like this kind of thing, people kind of look down on you, or that's how I felt because like I was surrounded by people who loved Western music, and my sister wasn't playing any Western music, and I couldn't use the computer because my sister would hoard it. Love you, sis. But like yes, I had to pretend that I didn't like it. But I remember in high school I was a big Cian Blue and FT Island fan of their music. And I would always say, I don't listen to K-pop, I listen to K-rock. That's how I would say it. Like, it's different, guys. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, I remember.
Do
You
you
know?
listen to Dreamcatcher
So,
now if you really listen to K Rock?
so okay, it's a K-pop thing, and then there are things under it. It's the same thing. Like whether you live Western or you live in the Philippines, they call it Philippine pop, but it's not really a pop kind of genre. It's the same thing. It's just the whole umbrella term for it, K-pop, the music that comes from Korea. And music isn't confined to one genre. There's rock, there's hip hop, there are ballads, okay? So like how I like Mamamoo. Okay, I like Mamamoo now. And I love the versatility when it comes to sound and genre because they don't they don't just sing dance music. They sing a lot of different genres. That's why I love them so much. Oh my god, I love Mamamoo so much, and I'm so happy they released the compilation album this year when I became a fan. But that's how it is. So I love the versatility of K-pop because it's not just all this upbeat songs that you think it is. When you're sad, you can listen to K-pop. There are like a playlist on Spotify for rainy K nights. Yeah, that's on my like list. Rainy K nights. So, it's every mood. It's for everyone. So I hope, listeners, you don't confine yourself to this small world of Western music. Go branch out. Oh my God, listen to Spanish pop if you want. Okay, but yeah, we're
Alexa,
K-pop.
play
So
Despacito.
K-pop, K-pop. Let's go K-pop, K-pop, K-pop. Okay, okay, go guys, take it away.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. Wait, my internet's so sucky. I don't even hear you properly. But okay. Anyway, like if we talk about K-pop before it became like global and stuff, like how it was perceived and like the versatility of it. The thing is, a lot of the K-pop songs that were famous like before pre-BTS, pre the Western stuff, they were very what do you call this? They were earworms, like very catchy. Remember, like Sorry Sorry became a phenomenon, and like yeah, the prisoners were dancing it, etc. Because like that was the thing with K-pop. That's what people associated with it. Like they're just these earworms that don't really mean anything. But then if you branch out, even from like Super Junior, from the same band, even in the same album, they have really good songs. It's just that those were the ones that became famous because they were danceable. If you really wanted to like explore, they have a lot of ballads. They have a lot of really good songs too. I think that's what happened kasi. It's like I don't understand it. All I understand is like the sorry, or like, shiny ring ding dong. Like all they understand is like it's an earworm. You can't, if you listen to it, it's in your head for a really long time, and some of them get annoyed by it and stuff, and like that's what they only associate with K-pop, which is, it's just an umbrella term. I think that's the thing with K-pop kasi. It's like, okay, all Korean music, it's K-pop. When in fact, there are genres within K-pop.
I think it
So
brings up
so yeah, I think that's what I love about it.
I think it brings up like a really interesting point because I think I also had the same perception that it's all the same music. That's also why I didn't really put much attention to it. That's also why I think like a group like, let's say, Blackpink got super, they blew up because it was perceived to be kind of different. In reality, it's probably because people weren't just paying attention. Sure, Kill This Love, DDD, they were in a way different from what the traditional norm was at that time, which was things like What Is Love or Boom Boom, or things that were considered cute. But if you really, took a look at their genre earlier on, and while I'm speaking as if I'm an expert, the reality is no, I discovered all these things like last month too. It's that the variety in concepts is what would help you really understand it. It's not really just a genre that you can just lump together. And it's what made me appreciate it even more. Like the groups that I listen to, and if anybody knows me, you will soon too. I'm a girl group stan. I don't really listen to boy groups. I don't jive with their music well. I don't know why. I think it's really just I really do appreciate vocal quality as my number one thing. I think I even with Western pop that's always been my thing. But in terms of K-pop, even within the groups themselves, like you can lump together all the generation groups, like, but you can tell me that Tune1 and SNSD or Girls' Generation, very completely different types of music, even within their own groups. And then even within those groups, Girls' Generation would release a track like The Boys, but then they'd also release G or Lionheart or Into the New World. Like, there's so much variety into what you would actually get. And it's what I love about the genre itself, what I love about girl groups. Like, there were some days that I would vibe with this new fourth gen group called Stacy. Their new song Stereotype, we'll feature that later, is one of my favorite songs right now. So salty they lost like 2 days ago, but let's not talk about that. But other days, you'd listen to Next Level by aespa, and Next Level is literally from the Fast and the Furious soundtrack, and for some reason they thought this would make a great K-pop song. And when I first listened to it, I was like, this song is 4 different songs that got smushed together into one by an editor that did not know what they were doing. And every time I hear it right now, I'm like, I'm on the next level. Yes, it's like, why? I don't get it, but it's like this, the variety of what you're getting within the genre itself is what I appreciate. But the variety in the groups themselves also, like you see them grow as a group, is also what I appreciate about the genre. So like this is one of the things that if you're a girl group stan, you'd know this very well, but Twice used to be known as an aegyo group. Like they do cute concepts all the time. TT, Meet Likey, I think I would even consider Dance the Night Away or What Is Love. But then now they come out with Fancy, More and More, Cry for Me, Alcohol Free, like the mature, like from a cute concept to a more mature concept. You see that the group actually evolves along with the music. And I want to go like this as a segue to what I stand, and it was pretty obvious in my name, but my favorite group of all time is Red Velvet. And I have never thought I would ever be a fan of a girl group like this, but I don't know, I just bumped into the This Is Red Velvet playlist on Spotify, and I knew them from Future. And the weird thing about this, Future from Startup sounds completely different to their discography, because they're one of the groups that their discography is both incoherent and completely cohesive at the same time. And what I mean by this is, with the name itself, Red Velvet, it's supposed to be like a merging of 2 concepts. And I'm really excited when we do like the spotlight episode. I will talk so much about this group in the future, but I'm gonna keep this short. So when it comes to like Red Velvet, it means that there's a poppy fun side and there's a velvet dark mature side. And where I think they come, where they are the best at is when they're able to seamlessly combine the 2 concepts. So this is where you get a group that can produce a song like Rookie or Power Up. Surprisingly, a lot of people from the West don't like these songs, but they're the most popular ones in Korea. Because, they're catchy, they're bubblegum. What's a good example? Dum Dum. You guys would think these are dumb songs. And, like, before, if you ask me in 2016, I would never listen to a group that would release songs like this. But then they'd also come back and they'd release Bad Boy. They'd do Psycho. I mean, who hasn't heard of Psycho, right? Psycho was the song of, sorry Meg, Psycho was the song of 2020. It's not Dynamite, it was Psycho.
You're allowed to have your
War.
This isn't the
different episode.
different episode. No, but Psycho was the song that I feel like made me realize. When I first heard it, I was like, it's in Korean. But like the more I listened to it, I was like, how can a group release this and then go here? And then it made me realize, how can other groups release these songs and other groups go here? And that's what made me really appreciate the genre. But no, for me, if you were to ask me what is my favorite act of all time, you can take a look at my desk. You can see the albums here. Yeah, but no, it's Red Velvet, and we'll talk about them in future episodes. Why? But since this is the segment where we're just gonna talk about what makes us happy, yeah, it's really that. Queendom was my song of the year. I waited for that for so long. As a relatively new fan, that was my first comeback. I thought it was a really happy time. Really just waiting for the song. Like, I remember when the song came out, I think it was August 16. Like, I had an alarm set, like 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, close the work laptop, turn on your personal laptop, play it on the big screen. This deserves its big debut. You gotta listen to it in the huge screen that you have in your house, not in your crappy phone. No, you're gonna watch it in your big screen. And then I was like, I'm gonna watch it again. Oh, Spotify, I'm gonna listen to it. And then I found out like the schedule for the music shows, so I watched Music Bank on Thursday, Music Bank on Friday, Music Core on Saturday, Inkigayo on Sunday, and Countdown on Thursday. I was like, I knew the schedule of all the music shows, and I watched all the comebacks. It was a magical time. But yeah, since I talked a lot about what made me happy about K-pop, what makes you guys happy? Like, I mean, like, we can talk about our stands, but what we will, but yeah, I just want, because this is a positive podcast.
Okay, can I just like say something here? I'm amazed at how these Maknaaes, Benj and Maggie are like super duper into whatever they're standing. Honestly, it's so different from me because I just listened to K-pop like it was, just music that I listened to from the radio. I didn't really research on these people and, like follow the shows like these people do. And I'm so proud of you guys. I'm not sure if it's going to be a good influence. If you do influence me to be like that, I'm not sure if it's going to be good or it's going to be bad. But now I started buying merches, so I don't know.
It's a mixed bag.
See, here's the thing. I think there's like two factors. One, it's completely more socially acceptable to just go out and say you're a fan now. Like
Yeah.
before, if you were a fan, you had to hide that because people were like, "Oh, you don't understand it, naman eh. Like, why do you listen to it?" And that was me. That was me. Like like all of my friends that were into it, I was like, "Why the hell do you guys listen to that?" And the weird thing is, if I go look at music nowadays, I don't understand it either. And
Yeah.
it's in English.
True.
So for me, it's
I mean, you've got songs in English that just go yum 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 yum. So honestly,
one of the top hits of 2018 was a song that just went Gucci Gang for 2 minutes straight.
I know, right? So
And
when you think about that, you're like, you know what? I mean, picking music based on language, specifically English, that's just overrated. But thanks, Yvonne. That's really sweet of you. I think, at least for me personally, I feel like Ben might be similar, but I can never do anything casually. Like if I find something, I'm gonna let it consume me entirely. I'm like, this is my new personality.
Guys,
But yeah, it's so true. And aside from that, I feel, in general, it's nice to have something to kind of obsess over, to keep you busy, to keep you interested, to keep you motivated, especially in a pandemic. So I feel like everything just aligned for me. I'm susceptible to these kinds of things. I need the distraction and the happiness, and exactly what K-pop provides. There's within my fandom alone, like standing BTS alone, we never run out of content. So if I don't know as much as you guys, not even like Ben, I see you watching the music shows and all that, I can't even branch out that much yet because I can barely keep up with what's going on here, which I am thankful for. I know some people they probably don't like be spammed with content. That's why there's like casual fans. Pero yun, I can't do anything casually.
You
Yeah,
But
know, so
diba,
important.
I
I wanna
can.
Some bands don't have it. Some groups don't have that much content.
no, I wanna
I
I wanna
know,
go
I
with the point
know.
of the casual thing. Yeah, I feel personally attacked. Like everybody knows my hobbies are dumb. I mean, not dumb in the sense that I have bad hobbies. It's just I go to a dumb extent to like go with the hobbies. And I feel like the nice thing I liked about K-pop is I can integrate the hobbies into what I'm doing now. So I stream on Twitch, and like whenever I play my game, whatever it is, I always say, "Hey, can we talk about Queendom also?" Because I no, that was a thing. And like I unboxed albums on stream, or like I'm into keyboards, right? And since we have a video version, I'm actually gonna show it here. In the keyboard I
Oh,
built, I had one that said red velvet, ice cream, cake, and it's a red velvet cake.
so nice.
And it was like, one, it's a nice visual pun that I see every day. It makes me happy, but it's also like I like the fact that I was able to justify spending more money on hobbies just because they vibe well with the other hobbies I had. And it's like
That's
my
true.
wallet hates me, but my mind's like, yeah, go ahead, keep justifying it. And
And you know what? For our listeners, that's an episode you can look forward to in the future, talking about merch, talking about capitalism, the pitfalls of it all, the moral dilemmas it presents. We're gonna talk about that because it's something that we do
yeah,
talk about, even just with one another.
and this isn't gonna be like
Um,
just this positive thing. We really do want to delve into everything about it. So we will have things where we'll talk about really dark topics or things that we don't like particularly about the fandom. But to balance it out, we will talk about what we love about it because it really is as diverse as the genre itself, the industry
There's a
that
lot
comes
to
along
love.
with it. There's a lot to unpack, guys.
Like, the K-pop industry is like, red velvet. There's a light side to it, and then
A dark side to it,
there's a dark
everything.
even to Red Velvet itself.
side. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we live in this kind of moment. So, well, we're here to discuss about the things we love, which is K-pop. So we gotta discuss about everything.
To love something, you have to understand the things that you have to accept with it as well, right?
Ang lalim, but it's so true.
I
It's
mean,
true.
to go
That's
back to
part of
that,
love.
diba? It's like to go back to
Like
that
that.
BoJack quote, like when you're wearing rose-colored glasses, every red flag just looks like a flag.
Yeah, and oh man, okay, Bojack. That's okay.
Anyway,
Different podcast.
I just thought of something that I'm so happy right now to be doing this with you guys, with our listeners, and with my friends, because I listened to K-pop since 09, 08, and I didn't have anyone to talk to about it. Well, except my sister. So actually, it was more of my sister telling me stuff about Korea, like K-dramas, K-variety, K-pop, everything K. So like, she was a really big influence, and I love her for introducing me to this world. Because since then, as I said before, I was obsessed with CM and FT Island. I would play it every day. Their albums, I would play it every day. But I couldn't share it with anyone. I couldn't enjoy the things that I like with anyone because K-pop then was like, not,
There was a stigma.
it wasn't the thing. The mainstream was Western music. So like, I was kind of lonely and I had to pretend that I liked Western songs, but in reality, I didn't. So like right now, it makes me happy to get to talk to talk about it and to have listeners listen. So you guys comment, share, and tell us episode ideas that you want us to pursue, and we'll gladly do it for you because I finally get to talk about it.
And
I know
honestly,
this has been
yeah.
a decade in the making for you as well. More than a decade. I
And
think-
hopefully we get like we get like a lot of we get like some people who just really can't talk about it because like people don't talk
Yeah.
about it in their circles, and
We don't have, yeah, that's
we
the
don't, right?
about
Like it's hard.
We can if we
K-pop.
can make a safe space for people, I feel like that's such a big thing.
It's actually
I want to thank you though. I feel like you guys, people who have been fans like ever since, you guys in a big way, you paved the way. Because it's so much easier now to talk about it openly or to be a fan, even if there still is stigma. I mean, sometimes I forget because I'm surrounded by positive people and people who are also fans. But then when you step out of that bubble, then you realize, oh, okay, in general in the world there's still stigma, but at least it's bigger now, the community, right? So I'm happy to be part of it now when there's less that I have to worry about. But at the same time, sometimes I do get the feeling, again, I wish I had gotten into it sooner, especially when I think of like the group that I stand, and I feel like I wish I had been there from the start when they needed all the support and everything. But it's nice to be here now. Nice
Yeah.
to be
And
in it now.
I don't. There's
that's what
no
community
time is too late talaga to be part of it.
Yeah.
It's
it's a community. We're
and
here
So
for
true.
and we'll get to see the evolution from our lens. Like a lot of people saw the struggle of like it getting popular. A lot of people really saw the struggle of how second gen and third gen came out. But now what we're seeing is a completely new thing. How can it evolve? How can it grow even bigger than it already is? And it's like right now people accept it because there are big groups that made it very accessible. And you guys are huge fans of that. Like one, your alt right now is BP, right?
Yeah.
And Meg, your alt right now is BTS, right? And I feel
Yeah.
like, in a way, and as much as there are a lot of fandoms and a lot of fans that would like really fight aggressively about it, I really can't understate the importance that these groups had on the industry. But what makes me excited is maybe now that it's more accepted, I will go into a time where people, when I say, oh, I like K-pop, they'll say, oh, you're ARMY, and I'm like, I don't have to explain that I'm not. Like I'll like people just say,
Yeah.
oh, who do you listen to? And I feel like that's
Yeah.
like the acceptance stage. Like when people don't automatically assume because you listen to this, oh, you must like BP, or no, or BTS, but like they can just say, oh, do you like this or do you like these guys? Are you a girl group person? Are you a boy group person? Do you listen
Yeah.
to IU? Things like that. When we get to that level of diversity, and I feel like the industry is moving in weird directions, like, yay, the VMAs are recognizing Korean acts, but also they're also just using them to get people to watch. Or, oh,
Yeah.
there's now a category for best K-pop, but that just kind of lumps it together in a way that, oh, you guys can only succeed in this category.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
we're still in
There
this
should
weird
be an
state, right?
episode for that. It's yeah, it's again, it's a mixed bag. So it's always a fight, isn't it? Like it's always a fight for acceptance and like genuine or legitimate acceptance, not just like
Token
the facade
acceptance.
of yeah, not just the facade of it. But you're right, you're right, and that's something I was thinking of earlier, just earlier, kanina while we were talking, I was thinking about how even if it's gonna be recognized, for example, or it's more accepted in the West, it's still all lumped together as K-pop, and there's nothing wrong naman with that because it's like it's an umbrella term. But then because of the way everyone just sees it, it's like okay, that's just K-pop. And then, for example, in these award shows, you see how they're able to distinguish or separate like Western music. They understand that this is the genre for that, this is for that, and yet everything that comes from Korea, it's like it's all K-pop. And then when you dive into it, you're like, okay, but nothing sounds the same. They're all so different. So how are you gonna lump it together? How would they feel if it was like, oh, that's American pop? You know,
Yeah.
like that's
Um,
American music.
It's like I think the best one for that is how to offend people that listen to Western pop. Why are you listening to Carly Rae and Doja Cat? They're both Western pop that's like the equivalent analogy of this. And I'm a fan
Right.
of both artists, so like if
Same.
you tell me that, I'll be offended. But that's what we get on a day. That's what you guys get. Like why you listen to BTS and EXO? They're like the same thing. How
I
to
know, and
offend
then
an entire fandom in two sentences.
how did I know? I was like, okay. Like, it's funny too that they get lumped. Okay, it's a two-way thing because it's funny that they get lumped together. Because like if you only knew the fan wars that happened within, and at the same time, it's like what the fan wars, and I'm like, why are we fighting? We should fight the common enemy. Like let's not fight among ourselves because all of us, when we look outside our bubble, they see us as all the same. So double-edged sword. Your thoughts, though. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
no, no, like okay. So remember how they lumped together all of K-pop as a category in itself to be K-pop. It's similar how in Western award shows for like movies, it's a different category. Like the
Yes,
West,
you're right.
all of it, like most of the awards are for Western works. But then we have foreign movies and whatever. And like, guys, they have different genres within themselves also. Like, you can't lump together all the foreign movies out there because they're very different. But that's
So
just,
true.
that's how the West sees them. It's like, just branch out. Like, remember the director for Parasite said, like, if you just
Yes.
get over
Bong Joon-ho.
yes, exactly, if you just get over the subtitles,
The
it
one
will
inch barrier
open.
of subtitles.
Yes, the
Exactly.
1 inch
it
barrier.
like it will open such a beautiful, like, world for you, because there are a lot of things that you will discover. Okay, I think my internet's okay now, so I can talk
I'm
now.
happy
Yes.
Okay.
about that. We really need to hear your thoughts on this because honestly, that when you were mentioning the Academy Awards, I really went back to that quote by Boon Joon Ho. I don't kill me, people. I need to do my research beforehand, but no, I mean it makes a good point. If you get behind the language barrier, you will discover these kinds of things, and it's not just like, oh, it all sounds the same as we mentioned. You'll find a lot of deep, meaningful things that you won't understand
Yeah.
at first because obviously it's not your first language, but guys, the internet exists in 2021. There are translations. You will see like perfectly translated works and you'll see, oh, they're actually talking about this. Oh, they're singing about this. And the more you look into it, and it's not even like you go to AZ Lyrics or something and then or Genius and then you search it. There are literally YouTube videos of that group. And then there will be, the closed captioning. Again, that 1 inch barrier of subtitles. You will see that the lyrics are there and it could be meaningful. It's very empowering. Or sometimes it's not, and that's fine. Again, the
Yeah.
variety is really just there. If you want deep, meaningful things, it exists. If you just want to have fun and listen, it exists. If you want club and party music, it exists. If you want soft, very acoustic vibes, coffee shop music, it exists. And I think that's really what makes it amazing. It's that it's practically something that we were all looking for because it's all there. It's just within this barrier of a language that we don't listen to. Of course, there will be more dedicated people that have actually studied Hangul just so that they know what these people are talking about. But no, it's there will always be dedicated people who will translate. There will always be official translations. And there will always be something there for everyone. If you just get over
Yeah.
this whole internalized conflict of, oh, it's in a different language, which, let's face it, for different people, it's just racism. And if you're offended, you should be.
Yes.
True.
If you just,
Okay.
So
yeah,
true.
diba? If you just open up your
Like,
mind a bit, there you go.
yeah. I mean, the thing with the language barrier is that it's understandable that people tend to, like, shy away from it, because there are things that get lost in translation. Like, okay, I understand that, and like, context is key for a lot of things. But then, if you really want to know more about it, like, a lot of, you know um bilingual fans, they tend to, like, let you know the
They do it
context
for
of,
free.
okay, exactly, like, they just love the group and they want to spread the word about the group, or like the song or whatever.
Shout
And
out to
then you
Revel
get
Up
to
subs.
understand it. Yes, the thing is, you get to understand it more because it's very interesting. Like, personally, for me, it's a cultural thing. You get to learn about their culture through, like, these nuances within the songs, and like how things are different. Like, for example, the thing about let's have ramen. It's like, okay, it's a normal thing. Like, okay, they're having ramen. But then when you're from, exactly, when you're a fan and then you understand what that means, it's a different thing.
Because of a nevertheless, let's have ramen was replaced by I feel butterflies.
Yeah, but like,
Ah.
you know.
But yes, I one of my favorite things to do these days is look up the translations of lyrics, and not just the translations, as in the direct translation, what it means in English. I also love it when, again, thank you to the dedicated fans who do it for free. I love it when they're able to, or when they explain the metaphors that are used, because there are some words that, there's some things that get lost in translation, obviously. But then when they break down, like, oh, they use this word and they pronounce it this way because it sounds similar to another word, for example. when they do that, I'm really able to see, the craftsmanship and the artistry that's behind all of this. And that's why it makes me feel sad or offended to see K-pop in general being maligned or being insulted, being seen as something less. Because if people just open their minds, open their hearts, they would see how much depth there is to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you guys said.
I'm the poster child for that. Literally, if any of these guys ask me what do you think about the genre, even as early as like May or June, I think Meg won. We were all at Hatch Cafe. We were having coffee,
I was
and
thinking
Meg
of
was
this
yeah,
a while
and
ago.
then Meg was like saying, "Oh, how she became a fan of BTS." And my first initial reaction was, "Isn't the army toxic?" It
Yeah.
wasn't anything
But
about the
my-
music. My first gut reaction, and this was like 3 months ago. We were all having
Yeah.
coffee, and I initially told Meg, "What?"
And to be fair, that's like a very understandable example because even me before, that was a big part of why I resisted for so long because of the stigma, and that's something we'll talk about in another episode. The stereotypes of fandom, but also the dark sides of certain fandom, or just in general, because with anything there will
And-
be a dark side with anything,
And
This is
controversial
Earth.
statement time, but if
right?
you're offended by that, you should be.
and
Yeah.
and I'm saying this as a fan, as arm, okay, because I'm new to the fandom. Obviously, I'm a baby, right? But I've seen both sides, and I'm like, oof, So I get it. I also really get it. But I guess another
Hashtag
thing,
not all fans.
yeah,
Not
hashtag not
all
all fans.
fans.
Hashtag not all armies. No, but since we're talking about what makes us happy, that's another thing that's made me happy. I was talking to you, Benj, about this, like early days for us as fans, but even just being able to find and foster a community, like for the two of us, and for all of us, I think, not just with K-pop, but with any hobby. Um, Usually it's not always about the thing itself, right? Sometimes it's about the community that you find. Like reading. I like reading, so bookstagram, and coffee. Ben, you like coffee, so finding a community, um, is such a beautiful thing, and that's something that I love about K-pop because of how diverse K-pop is. The community is so diverse. You get to make friends. You have from different countries or different cultures, but you have this one thing that connects you all. It's really nice. Even just online, even just on Twitter, I've seen it happen so many times. People will be tweeting about the group that they stand, and then they'll find out we're in the same class. Like, is this you in the class right now? And I find that so cute. But at a time like this, when we're all so isolated and lonely, to be able to find friends, or even with friends that you already have, like us, to be able to find something new that you can talk about, it's so meaningful and so needed and necessary.
There's a lot of things that we can talk about, like content or communities, and I feel like this is the beauty of this podcast is that we will get into these things more. But as we, because we have like a lot of other things that we need to close in this. I think I just like to end with the statement that Meg told me, and it's you find it when you need it the most. And weirdly enough, in this pandemic, I'm sure there's a lot of people that really found it when they need it the most. And to me and Meg, we did find it at a time when, yeah, we did need it the most in our personal or professional lives. And I feel like there's a lot of resistance to wanting to be part of it. But, and I'm not saying you should, right? Like, if it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. But to a lot of people, it really did become part of their identity because it came at a time when they did need it the most. And it really, in a way, it really just uplifts us. Like, it can
Yeah.
be as watching like the crack videos of your favorite, or watching like whatever else they do, because it's not just constrained to like the music. As we mentioned, there are performances, there are live shows, like they just go out and they interact with their fans. And yeah, there is a negative side to this parasocial relationship, to go with the theme of foreshadowing future episodes. But
Yeah.
there really is a lot of things to consume, and whether you're in it for the music, whether you're in it for the live performances, whether you're in it for the personalities, what I have seen so far is that when you need it, it's right there, and there's so much to consume. and it's really up to you to get over that barrier of like listening to something you don't like because of internalized feelings towards it, and maybe you like it, and if you don't, that's completely fine. It's fine. I don't know why you're here listening, but it's completely okay. But if you do actually get to open up and see that, then welcome aboard. Thank you for taking this journey with us, and we're excited to have you here too.
We're excited to K-pop your cherry.
Yeah, exactly.
Our Cherry.
And now, you know,
Yes.
to pop other cherries in this discussion, we have this segment that we want to go for how we popped our cherries. So the top, we have the top three songs that we each have. So since there's four of us, this is the top 12. And how we're gonna do this is the top 12 for this week is how we K-popped our cherries. So first, we will play the songs after we discuss them. But yeah, I want to start this off with Joe. What were the songs that K-popped your cherry?
Okay, so mine was the first one was Every Heart by Boa. It was the theme for Inuyasha. So it started with the Japanese one, and then I found out the English one. The second one is from Yunha. I'm not sure if how to pronounce her name, but it's Yunha. The ending theme for Bleach. It's translated to Comet. And the last one, this one doesn't have a Korean translation. It's by Toho Shinki. The ending theme for One Piece, which is Asowa Kurukara, which basically means a translation, tomorrow will surely come. Yeah, there you go.
You know, I'm actually super interested in finding out, like, your since you mentioned that your introduction really was through, you know, anime and OSTs. That's a very similar
Yeah.
story to mine. My thing is, what made you decide, okay, if, instead of rewatching this anime, I'm actually going to listen to the artist?
The thing is, the songs were super catchy, and then like it was, it really was TVXQ for me that opened the doors. It's like, okay, I usually, like what I said a while ago, I usually listen to, I mean, watch the AMVs and stuff, but then somehow like the real life people got into my feed, and like, okay, so who are these people? And then I realized, oh, they're the ones singing the anime song, because there was a disconnect in my head. It's like the anime songs are sung by, you know, anime people, not real people. That's like, it's how it was in my mind. So when I found out that they were real people, I got interested. And then like it was weird because I saw like their I think it was Hug, their debut song. And then I found out that there was an English version for it, and like a Chinese version, I think, for it. And then that got me interested. Why do they have like multiple versions for a song? And then so I looked into the group and then found out that, oh, okay, so they're both in Korean and Japanese industries. Like they're very active in both. But then the thing is, I became a fan like 2010ish, which was a difficult time for the group. It was the split of the group. The thing with me is I'm a lit major and I'm very interested in narratives. So the narrative of this group pulled me in and got me interested in it. That's how I branched out in like all the other second gen groups, etc. Cause like, oh, they know these people. Like, okay, so I got into Super Junior because they were in a variety show with TVXQ, and then I got into like Shiny because I saw them, they were dancing to Rising Sun by TVXQ. So that really just pulled me in. It's like, okay, they're real people. They're not, you know, anime, but they look like anime sometimes. So I guess that's it.
It's like the equivalent of me as a kid when I heard a theme song by an anime. I was like, oh, maybe like they sang that themselves. It's like the voice actors sang the
Exactly.
song.
That's in my mind. It's like, okay, I think it's the same people, but apparently it's not.
I'm gonna be the best.
Yeah, it's like yeah,
never
that
wa-
we like the Pokemon theme song was sung by Ash Ketchum.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I was just thinking of an anime, and that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Dude, I didn't even think of an anime. I was thinking, what has a theme song that you think was sung? Fairly Odd Parents. My mind is so dumb. All right, so yeah, so those are just top three songs. I think like we don't really have a format for this, but I think since mine is similar, I think I'll go with my three songs next. Because I also started out with K dramas and things, and I mentioned that I listened to Momoland's Boom Boom just because that was so catchy, and I feel like I hated myself for liking Boom Boom. But like when you listen to it, it's so catchy. You can't hate it, and it's like I didn't understand anything, but the song was just there. It was like this happy pill that, and the thing is, I didn't even want to actively listen to it. Like I avoided it on Spotify. But if you played it in public, I will say, yeah, that's a good song. I really liked it, and I think that was like the warning signs of you actually like this, but you don't want to admit it. Which is how we got to Fancy by Twice, which is actually the song that really made me want to get into K-pop. And I think it was when I realized that all the pop songs that I like, you know, it's not because of a language barrier or anything. It's just because you think they're good songs. And if you've listened to Fancy, I think Fancy is one of my like I think like you would think it's one of the most addictive K-pop songs. Not even K-pop songs, pop songs that you would see. There's this like thing in my house where I play it every time. So I live with my cousin, right? And she does schoolwork. But like I played Fancy every day to the point that even she like subconsciously sings along to it. And it's like it's called Stockholm Syndrome. You've been with your prisoner for so long that you actually start liking it. And yeah. But yeah, the last one is Future by my old Red Velvet. And it was when I realized that K-drama OSTs, I actually really like them. And there's so many in my library that are just OSTs. Like the OST to Goblin, I think has a Mamamoo song in it. I think it's Winter's Coming or something. I'm not sure, but Wendy from Red Velvet sang in The King. She's gonna do one for Kim Go Eun's new drama as well. I think I need to watch that. But yeah, it was like there were a lot of K-drama songs that were in my soundtracks. It's from Startup, from What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, with What's Her Private Life with Park Min Young, which has songs by G Idol and G Friend. So I knew about these things before through OSTs, but it's what opened my mind to like, okay, fine, who made them? Let's listen up. So yeah, so those are my top three songs for the week. Let's go with you, Vaughn. How did you get into, what K-popped your cherry?
Yeah. Okay. So I think I mentioned it a while ago. It was Tell Me. Yeah, because my sister was
I'm
playing that.
surprised it's not Nobody, because it's both by the Wonder Girls.
No, it was Tell Me. Nobody was the next big thing when we were in like second year high school, but Tell Me was the LM thing. And the only person I got to talk to about it was a classmate of mine whose sister was my sister's friend. So they were both listening to it. So yeah,
I think I know who this is.
Yeah, so it goes, tell me, tell me, tell me. It was so catchy. It was super catchy, and I really loved it. And I guess that was my introduction song to K-pop. Tell me, when I was in elementary. And the next thing would be Intuition by CNBLUE. I forgot when they released this, but this was from their first album. Their first album. And as I told you before, I was the in denial K-popper. I don't listen to K-pop. I listen to K-rock, which I actually like about myself because I wasn't using the umbrella term for every Korean song.
You're not like the other girls.
I actually like the other girls. I listen to K-rock. I was like that because I was pretty much what you would call easily influenced by the outside, or like my actions were, I wasn't that confident before. So like if I felt that people would judge me for doing something, I'd find a way to like make it into something that people wouldn't judge me for. So I was a closet K-rocker, not a K-popper. So yeah. So anyway, K-rock CNBLUE. Their song was Intuition, and then the third one is I Am the Best. This was released in, I think, alright, somewhere in high school, like not sure 2011 or 2012, and I really really love this song. I think this was the first song that I actually searched what it meant what they were saying, like "nega che talaga," something like that. Sorry, I can't pronounce Korean well. But then I realized, that was the title of the song. I am the best. And even right now, when I feel like I'm down, I kind of sing it in my mind, like, like I'm cool. I'm the best. Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I'm Queen Vanessa here, right? I'm Queen Vanessa. So I am the best. And it's that's the thing that I like about K-pop is that sometimes kasi, I don't really research the lyrics. What I do is mostly because I just like songs for themselves, like not really the lyrics part. I just like how the flow goes, how it sounds, and the like. So like I knew that the song was something uplifting for yourself, and then that's when I searched it, and that's when I realized, oh yeah, it is. And that's the thing about the magic of K-pop. Like you listen to a song, and like you can like, do experiment, like this song I think is about sadness or whatever, and you can ascribe that to that song. You don't even have to look at the lyrics. If that's what it makes you feel, then fine, you don't have to go more deeper than it. So that's what I enjoy about K-pop, because I get to decide what songs mean to me, something like that. So yeah, that's it for me.
All right, we know who's up next. I think like trigger warning here. If you're Army, you're gonna really enjoy this segment.
Well, hopefully you will. I don't know. I mean, there's there's also stigma within. They're like, oh, dynamite ka lang naman naging fan, butter ka lang naman naging fan. I'm like, okay, so ayaw nyo ba? But that's a different episode anyway. So that's already two of my three. It's dynamite and butter. And originally, the third song that I had picked was another BTS song, but I realized that wasn't true or that wasn't accurate because, like I mentioned earlier, I was aware of other groups even before I was aware of BTS probably. Blackpink was the one that I was aware of them like maybe from the start. I was just not really into it yet because I was still resisting. But that was the time that I was still like, oh, it's a language I don't understand. I don't think I can enjoy it. Which, you know what, shame on me, right? So I guess, but I enjoyed their sound a lot. So when their collab with Dua Lipa came out, Kiss and Makeup, I was like, oh, okay, here's something I can listen to. And the funny thing is, I've seen many people say that, and I agree, that's not even their best song, maybe not even their best collab, and yet it was so catchy. It was one of my most listened to songs that year. I think that was a year that I didn't share my Spotify rap because again I was like, oh no, hide it, hide it. So those are the three songs for me. And I know hearing them now, even seeing them on the list, I'm like, damn, I sound so basic. I mean, I feel like people are gonna hear me and they're like, oh no, like she has the most basic choices. But that's why I'm excited for this spot. Thank you for shaking your heads, guys. If you guys didn't see that and you're just listening, they're very supportive of me. But that's why I'm so excited for our future episodes. Because I'm excited to unpack a lot of other deeper themes and reasons for why we're into this. But those are the three that that hooked me and that pulled me in and kept me here.
And I'm happy that they did.
Yeah, I know.
Ah.
Late to the game, but so happy to be here.
No such thing as late to the game, guys. But so that you guys won't be late in the game, also.
Forever. There's no late.
Well, they also have the saying, when you're late to the news. So that you guys won't be late to the news here, we actually do have some news for the week, right, in the world of K-pop. I think, Bon and Meg, what are the pressing news items that you guys have for us?
Okay, it's not exactly present, but it's the one that popped up in my news feed like a few days ago. Well, okay, so the headline is this: former icon leader BI gets suspended sentence over drug abuse charges. So yes, so basically it's the sentence for his accusation. In 2019, he was reported to have attempted to purchase illegal drugs in 2016. So the sentence came out this September 10. So he actually, when I read the news about this, the court is actually found him to be remorseful because he pleaded guilty for it, actually, which I find something admirable in the sense that he was accountable for his actions, unlike some other people who would just who would what do you call this, like deceive others to say,
Deny.
yeah, deny it, like others who would deny it. He owned up to it. And the thing about it is that he left the group because of it, but he's still actually making music right now. And I realized that second chances do come, and you just have to own up to what you've done before. I think that's the moral of the story. But yeah, that's what's going on in K-pop right now. And I think Meg has another news for us.
Yes, my news, unsurprisingly, is about BTS. But like I said, there's so much going on with them, so not surprising. Last night, yesterday. Oh no, I should give the date, right? Because we don't know when this is coming out. Okay, so September 18, they flew to the U.S. from Korea because they will be attending the UN General Assembly along with President Moon, President of South Korea. Will be representing South Korea as well. So I'm not sure if they'll be giving a speech. I think they might. They did in the past, but this is their first trip out of the country since the pandemic began. So that's why people were excited for it, especially because of the message that they're planning to share, something about the youth today, stories now, how our lives are different. And I say our because I still count this as youth. But getting into K-pop has made me realize how old I am. Like you'll be online and you'll see people born in the 2000s and like, oh my goodness, I am old. And not just people online, but a lot of the idols, fourth gen idols, even third gen, you're like, these people are younger than me. So, right? But there, that's the news that I have there.
I have one bit of news, and since we record this on Sundays, it is after Inkigayo. So Inkigayo, if you guys are familiar with how
One,
Korean music shows
my
works, it's basically the top song of the week is determined by a certain criteria like streams, album sales. So the top three nominees for this week, I'm so sad that I didn't get in, but it's fine, it's fine. Queendom has 7 wins, it's okay. The top three for this week is Limu Jin, Lalisa, and Espa with Next Level. So in third place is, I'm so sad because it's Espa, and I really want Next Level to win something, but no, Espa did not win anything. In second place, it's Lalisa. So Lee Mujid wins Inkigayo for this week, and I'm so sorry, Bon, but they won Music Bank over Stacy, but they won, so you're gonna be happy about over Stacy, but it's okay, it's fine. But yeah, so that is my news. I think that'll be like my segment for this is who won the random music shows that show up. But yeah, Inkigayo, it's Imujin who gets his double crown. I don't really listen to boy acts, but yeah, again, girl group person here. So I'm so sorry if there are any fans, but I don't know what the song is. I should probably educate myself. So in light of educating ourselves, it actually ties in perfectly with our next segment. So we have each prepared one new release that I feel like you should try to give a chance this week. The criteria basically is just anything that was released in the past 2 months. So guys, what are your top songs for the week?
Well, okay, so
Yeah, obviously, I will wanted you to start.
as was mentioned, it's Lalisa by Lisa. I'm a big fan of Lisa from Blackpink. So I think I'm actually happy about the song, like in general. It's catchy and really, the vibe is like this powerful woman. And she's singing about herself. She's singing about her name. That's like empowering, right? But the downside to this is that since they made the dance something available for TikTok and something that could be danceable by everyone, I felt like Lisa wasn't able to showcase her dancing skills, and she's the main dancer of Blackpink, which
Cancelled.
I mean, looking for a dance break. While I was watching the premiere, I was waiting for a dance break, and then the song ended, and I was like, "There's no dance break." she, and the teasers were like, "There's gonna be pole dancing," and there was like, yeah, there was a bit of it, but like, yeah, at the end of the day, where's my dance break? But still, I really, really loved this song. So yeah, okay. What song is it next? Let's go with Meg.
Okay, the minute Ben said any release in the last 2 months, I was like, ding! My ears were like, last 2 months. So, okay, I'm just gonna plug Butter remix that BTS did with Megan Thee Stallion. Not one because it's such a catchy song. I really love their remix. I love how integrated Megan Thee Stallion is. It's not like how sometimes artists will collab, and not just K-pop, just in general artists. And then it's like featuring blah blah, but
We
then
the
they just get
best
one tiny
music.
verse. Right? Yes, yes. Then they just get one tiny verse or like a couple of lines. But I like this because she's present throughout the song, and I want everyone to listen to it, stream it, buy it if you can. Also because Megan Thee Stallion, if you didn't know, she there was a whole court case with her label over releasing the song. So it's like she has to prove that it was a good decision to do this collab and release the song. So help a girl out. But officially, quote unquote, the song that I've chosen to add to our playlist is Come As You Are by Young K or Brian from Day 6, which everyone's surprised, right? Like, what, she knows someone other than BTS. Just kidding. No, it's a very nice, comforting song. If you watch the music video, it's also very sweet and soothing, and it's the Lulu father for sure. Because you're like, oh my gosh, it's so sweet, but it's very comforting and nice. His whole album is actually really nice, but that's the most recent music video that he released.
Isn't Young K like supposed to end this soon or something?
Yes, actually he is, and his album. It's his solo debut. Um, it was his fans, the fans of Day Six, the My Days, are kind of looking at it as his goodbye gift to them before he does his military service. So that's why a lot of the songs, I think, are they find it very comforting, and I think it was deliberately done. That the songs are very soothing, they're very comforting, they're very sweet, and maybe like a goodbye for now. So that's my recommendation of the week. How about you, Jo?
So mine is from uh Yihi. Yihai, if you guys know. She's a soloist. Formerly from YG Entertainment, same entertainment company as Blackpink, but now she's in AOMG by J Park, former 2PM. Anyway, I really enjoyed her album. I was thinking if I should recommend Lipstick or Savior. But then I realized that since BI is in the news again, so why not go with Savior?
I was
Yeah,
just about
it's
to ask you that.
yeah, man. Like no, the thing is, I really enjoy um Yihai's collaboration with BI. Like if I remember correctly, the first one was in 2019 with No One. Um, which is ironic because like that time while they were um promoting the song was the time he was accused of the drug charges. And now that they released this new collaboration, it's the time that he's sentenced for the drug charges. So I'm like, okay, guys, listen to Yihai. And also, because for those who didn't know BI, he's really a good musician.
He's a
And
really good musician.
he's great. Like, he has a lot of songs. He has written great songs. And like, if you don't know Icon, at the very least, if you went to Korea in like, was it 2018? The love
You probably
scenario
heard of Love
was the
Scenario.
song.
There.
Yeah, it was everywhere. And he even won like the songwriter of the year or something. I remember BI winning something like that.
You
And
did not need to
I
go to
just want
Korea to hear Love Scenario in 2018.
it's
Here in
true.
the Philippines.
But yeah, so I want to highlight how this partnership, I mean, this collaboration, showcases their strengths. Both of them are really good musicians. And if you want to branch out, because like a lot of the fans are usually for groups, especially the groups that dance and like perform like in sync and whatever. But if you guys want to check out soloists, um, Okay, so Yihai is one of the best ones to go into because, like, if you listen to her voice, guys, it's really good. She has a really good voice.
Like I
Like,
was listening. I had to listen to all the recommendations yesterday, right? Because of course, like we have to edit it and stuff. But I actually was super surprised at Savior. First of all, the imagery of the music video was very visceral. It was
yeah,
like if a Western artist put that out, they probably would have been canceled.
yeah,
That was my thought. But like the voice was actually super good. And again, for me, vocals are everything. So I actually then this is the effect of this podcast, right? There are acts I don't know, and because my friends say, "Oh, listen to this," I'm like, "Okay, I'll check it out." And for like how you like, we need to get like a short snippet of the songs. I would just get like, "Oh, this is the chorus would work" or something nice. I actually had to listen to the song twice because I had no idea what part
yeah,
do I want to highlight here.
exactly.
Well, it was
And
really good. I really enjoyed Savior. Like last night when I
yeah,
was like cramming this was so yeah. But yeah, that goes on to me, and I feel like I've foreshadowed this a lot. But recently, I've discovered I'm a Swift now. Stacy Girls, it's going down. So, my recommendation for the week is Stereotype by Stacy, and I feel like Stacy is a fourth gen group that I didn't really much get a lot of attention to because I'm not into fourth gen yet. Me saying this as now, I have a lot of fourth gen groups now that I really do want to listen to, and I feel like this is one of the gateways. I would have considered myself just, oh, girl, third gen is superior, but right now, fourth gen is releasing a lot of great music, and I actually bumped off another fourth gen group for this, and I'll probably talk about them next week, so that'll have its own spotlight. But for this week, I really wanted to highlight Stereotype. It's a really great song. Aside from its being super catchy, it has one of the best bridges in K-pop. And as a Red Velvet fan, having really good bridges is like I'm spoiled by that. So if I say like this other group has really good bridges, it's probably legit. But when Isa gives that bridge, and I'm pretty sure you might not have even heard the song, but if you're on TikTok, you probably saw people lip syncing to the bridge of Stereotype. You would see what I was talking about. But Stereotype by Stacy is my song of the week. It's basically just about how, as a girl, you shouldn't just be looked at through rose colored glasses. You're not a stereotype. There's more to you than what people see, and I hope that people appreciate that. And I feel like it lines up really well. This is a complete accident, but that's K pop in a nutshell. It's more than just what you see on the outside. It's not a stereotype.
So
Same
true.
stereotype, guys.
Perfect song to end with. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Right?
good.
Right? It was such an accident too, but yeah. I'll talk about Talk and Talk some other time, but yeah, for this week no. Stacy Stereotype. That was the song to me. Alright. Before we end, we have two new things to go talk about for the first episode. So thank you for tuning in to the pilot episode of KPoppin Your Cherry. So first, do we have any birthdays coming up for any of our stands or that have elapsed? I think Meg, you have one.
This September, I had two. Uh, September 1 was Jungkook's birthday. And she's from BTS, obviously. And September 12th, that was last Sunday since we recorded this, was Namjoon's birthday. And you know what? I am more excited for these guys' birthdays than my own. My own birthday, since I turned maybe 19 onwards, my own birthdays are like, oh my gosh, existential dread, blah blah blah. But these guys' birthdays, I'm like, let's get a cake, let's spend time in nature, because that's what he likes. So those are the birthdays that have passed.
Since you mentioned September, so I feel like I have to do this too. September 3 was the birthday of Red Velvet's, of Red Velvet's Joy. So wave your hands up in the air, say Annyeong, because that's one of her most popular songs. But yeah, happy birthday, Joy. Yeah, so since you already brought that up, so here we go. Photo card.
Merch.
Yeah.
We'll dive into merch in the other episodes.
We'll dive into merch. We'll dive into
The
photo
dark side
cards
of
in the
merch.
future.
The dark
I'm
side of
very,
merch. Merch
Until my
is so
merch
dumb.
comes, okay?
Merch
I
is
know.
so dumb.
I'm
Guys, like
excited
some
for
of my
them.
merch are not even with me, okay? Like, chill.
Alright.
I
So
have
the
a
last
lot.
segment,
I'm excited for that, guys.
the last segment we have for today is UnKpop. So, and it's a nice way to end. What are the things that you guys want to plug that isn't necessarily related to what we talked about?
World peace. Joke.
Well, sana all.
Mental health.
I just
Char.
want to tell everyone stay home, wear your mask. If you can get vaccinated, get vaccinated. We want this hell to end.
Oh, there we
And
go. We're gonna get
also-
canceled again.
Oh no! Well, I mean,
Okay.
if we're gonna get canceled for anything, I'm fine with getting canceled too. Just kidding. Also register to vote if you're Filipino or you have a Filipino passport. The clock is ticking, so register to vote.
Yep. We want to responsibly inform you that the right thing to do, no matter what, is to register to vote.
Yes.
And don't just register, actually vote.
Actually vote. Yeah, that was kind of pointless
Yeah.
if you're like, I
Right.
registered.
Yes, vote
Like, go
and
through
vote
the process if you're not
responsibly.
gonna vote. It's a holiday. We're
So-
supposed to let you vote.
About
So
right.
go.
Right. All right. What do I have to? So not related to K-pop. Since we are all stuck at home anyway, if anybody would listen, plays Valorant or plays video games, I actually stream on Twitch. Yay! Shameless plugs. Let's go. So you can find me on twitch.tv/justchoking19. I'll probably link it somewhere there. But I play Valorant, I play video games, and I really want to talk to people about K-pop while I'm playing video games. So if any of you show up and literally ask me anything K-pop, I will stop what I'm doing and entertain your question, because I really just want to talk about this. And my friends in game, it varies. Some of them love it, and then some of them are like, "Oh my god, you're listening to this while playing." So please talk to me about K-pop on my stream.
Okay.
Go, John.
Okay. So mine, it's not something I do or like Meg already discussed, voting and stuff. So mine is technically kind of related to K-pop because Wang Yibo is a K-pop idol. So I'm not gonna talk about, MDZS or CQL now, but I want you guys to check out SDC or the Street Dance of China, season 4, or if you want to go with season 3, that's okay too, because like Yibo's there. So season 3 or season 4 of Street Dance of China. Street Dance of China season 4 is currently ongoing. Its episode is every Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure. Depends on where you are. Where we are, it's on Sundays. So guys, check it out because it's really cool. Like dancers from all over the world. They're not really competing, more like they're learning from each other. So there you go.
And you can watch it on YouTube, actually. You can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And talking about YouTube, I'm going to do a shameless plug here, too. So I write songs. Of course, I'm not as good as K-pop. But please do just try to listen to my songs. You can find me YM Lagdao on YouTube. Shameless plug right there.
No, we're gonna make Queen Bonisa a thing. Yeah.
All right. Before I forget, even if Yibo's my favorite, West Philippine Sea, man.
Yeah.
Ours. Sorry, Yibo, I love you, but like, sorry, it's ours.
I love how we could not. We couldn't not. What am I saying?
There are like 50 reasons
we
to
couldn't
cancel us
avoid-
alone here.
Yeah, we couldn't avoid getting political. That's just who we are. And
Everything is
to everyone
political, guys.
listening, truly, everything's political. And to everyone who's listening, you need to know this is just how our normal conversations go. Like even when we're just chatting, or when we're out, or when we used to go out, before the pandemic. This is just how normal conversations would go.
Except maybe like 20-30% less swearing. We filtered
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah,
here.
because we can't swear now. So
This is
we're being nice.
we're being nice.
You're welcome.
But, yeah, guys. Thank you for thanks for a very good episode. For what we did today. I hope that there's a community that can be built around it, and if not, I hope if like 2 or 3 people listen to it, we gladly invite you, and we just really want to create a space for anybody that wants to talk. So for me, that's Bad Bench, really Bad Bench signing off. Who that. But yeah, so that's me signing off. And everyone else, thank you for joining. Von?
Yeah, thank you. And I hope to hear from you guys. Please do comment episodes that you want us to do, topics you want us to cover, groups you want us to cover. We'll do anything under the sun as long as it's related to K-pop. Or not related to K-pop. Why not? We can always have
if you want to start a fan war in the comments, please keep it respectful. I will be eating popcorn while reading, but keep it respectful, guys.
Yes.
But I highly encourage it.
We love tea, guys.
Yeah, we
Um,
love tea as long as it's not. Yeah, keep it respectful. Don't be offensive. Don't be racist. All that stuff. But other than that, go ahead. Have at it.
We'll enjoy it.
This is Captain Jonana. I like ships and submarines. If you guys have any people you ship and you want me to check out, just let me know.
Rin and Solgi.
I usually ship like guys at the moment because Yizan and Wangshan, but like I used to ship Yunjae.
Okay, and this is Tata Meg signing off. Don't forget to love yourselves, or else I will come for you. That's it.
Alright, guys. Vaughn, you want to say something?
No, I'm just gonna be like, okay, bye guys.
Bye, we're done.
Guys, thanks, guys.